Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. And welcome back to another edition of the Spurs Chat Podcast, where this week I'm joined by a very special guest, club legend Graham Roberts. Of course, Graham played for Tottenham between 1980 and 1986, 209 league appearances for the club, 23 goals, 27 appearances in the FA Cup, 2 goals, 25 appearances in the League Cup, 5 goals, 26 European appearances, 5 goals, a total of 287 appearances in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt, 35 goals, FA Cup winner with the club in 1981 and 1982, UEFA Cup winning captain in 1984, and of course 6 England caps. Graham, welcome back to the channel. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Chris. I'm even happier now you read all that out. I think you're the only person that's ever got that right.
Well, I could see that put a smile on your face. That's not a bad career, is it?
No, but when I went on other channels, they go, 209 appearances, 26 goals. And I say, no, it's 35 goals and 280, 90 appearances. So plus.
Well, Graham, you're not a person that people muck about with, and you're given this hard as nails image.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I'm as soft as hell, me. On the pitch, I was a winner. I didn't want to lose, and myself and Paul Miller, we came up against some very tough centre forwards, and they wasn't going to walk all over us, and we had that reputation where nobody really liked playing against us, but we had more to our game than just being hard as nails. We could play. We were both good players. Otherwise, you're not going to be in Tottenham's team, are you? So, no. I wrote a book and I put it as hard as nails. So, it's sold out, so it must be all right.
Oh, exactly. Well, Graham, I'm going to take you back to your early days. Of course, you were born in Southampton in 1959, and then as a 14-year-old boy, you joined Southampton as a schoolboy, and then you were released from them. I think in October. You actually signed in October 1973, and then you were released by Southampton, and then you went to Portsmouth and Bournemouth. And we were speaking off air because I wanted to double check this stat with you. You actually started as a striker and once scored 49 goals in a season, which I thought I've got to double check that with you because I've never ever had that conversation with you as a striker scoring so many goals. Tell us about that.
Yeah, does that make me as good as Clive Allen?
Absolutely. I thought where I read this on various websites, so I thought, have they got their information muddled up with Clive Allen? That's exactly what I thought.
No, what happened was I was at Southampton. Laurie McMenemy pulled us in at the end of the season. We was associated schoolboys. I was in the Hampshire team. I was in the Southampton boys team. Had trials for England, and then Laurie McMenemy pulled me to one side. It makes you laugh. He said, "I don't think you're going to be strong enough for professional football." So he released me. So from there, Bournemouth got in touch and said, "Would I go there?" Harry Redknapp was a manager. Stuart Morgan, who's scout for Tottenham as well, he was assistant, and I went down and played for them, and in the South West Counties League, I scored 49 goals from centre forward. Yeah, so Clive Allen and me have got the same. He can't have it over me.
Wow, I can't believe that stat. And also, Graham, when you were, during your youth career, I read that you helped your dad on a market stall, getting up at 3 a.m. Imagine footballers doing that now.
They wouldn't. You don't need to. No, my dad was a market stall holder, fruit and veg, and I would be up on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, 3 o'clock, setting the stand up, and then from there at 8 o'clock in the morning, I would go to Bournemouth. Or when we got released from Bournemouth, it was funny really because Harry was the manager. And Harry said the club have got no money now. We have to release all of you. but he had a brown paper bag in his hand, so I don't know what that was. That was a joke. That was a joke, buddy. That was a joke. No, so so we, I went from there to Portsmouth. Ian St. John was the manager, and I enjoyed my time at Portsmouth. I really, really did. And I was playing centre forward. We got to the semi-final of the FA Youth Cup, and we played Tottenham. And Paul Miller played, Mark Falco, they all played, Chris Cowlin, and Mickey Hazard. There was loads. You can't name them all. But we drew 2-2 at White Hart Lane. Went back to Portsmouth. That was on a Tuesday night. And on a Saturday, we went back to Portsmouth. And it was 0-0. And we would have gone through on away goals. And we got a penalty last minute.
Yeah.
And we had a Scottish lad that played, Paddy McParlin, and he was the captain. And as he was putting the ball down, he turned around and Paul Miller was right behind him. And Paul Miller said, "If you score this, I'm going to kill you." And I looked at Paddy and I thought, don't listen to him. So I pulled him away and I said, "Look, do you want me to take it?" And he went, no, I'm fine. And he ran up and kicked the ground and it rolled into the goalie's hands.
Wow.
And they kicked it out and scored. And we went out 3-2. And,
wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was like, but that's when I first met Maxie. And we was gutted. So I was at Portsmouth, really enjoying the football. Got offered a contract. We had a friendly against Aldershot pre-season, and I came on sub at half time, and I think it was Joe Joplin. You ever heard of him? Used to play for Aldershot, Joe Joplin, centre half. I went up to head the ball, and he's clattered me, and I came down and broke my ankle. And after the game, I went to hospital. I went in the next day to see the physio, broke my ankle, and I was in plaster. And at that time, Jimmy Dickinson, who was a superstar at Portsmouth, he was the old brigade, but he took over as manager. And he called me in and said, "Oh, because you broke your leg, we're not going to keep you." Well, it was my ankle. So he said, "We're not going to keep you." So I had 6 weeks in a plaster, and after the 6 weeks, I started sort of running and getting fit. And Dorchester, Dave Best, who used to play for Ipswich, goalkeeper, he rang me up and said, "Would you come to Dorchester?" And I said, "Yeah." And I went there and I scored loads of goals for them. Was there for 18 months. And I'll never forget it. Stuart Morgan had taken over at Weymouth. And Stuart rang me, and as I knew him from Bournemouth, and he said, "Look, we want to sign you. You're on a free contract," because it was I hadn't had a contract. It was just a gentleman's agreement. And I said, "Okay." He said, "Come down on Saturday, speak to us, and then we'll put the 7 days in." So they put the 7 days in. I went down, and when I went into the boardroom, I had my wife with me, and we just got married. See, so I went in, and 2 of the directors went, "We don't want you here. We don't take rejects from Dorchester." So I said, "Okay." So my wife said, "What?" Surprised. Anyway, Stuart came in and said, "Everything all right?" I said, "Not really." I said, "I've agreed terms with you, but I just want to have a night to think about it." "Well, what's gone wrong?" I said, "I'll tell you later." Anyway, I got home, thought about it, and I rang Dave Best and I said, if you match their offer, I'll stay with you at Dorchester. So Dorchester did that, but put me on a contract. And with that, I rang Stuart and said, look, I'm staying at Dorchester. They've offered me a contract. I said, the reason why, Stuart, is 2 of your directors didn't want me. I said they, publicly made it clear they didn't want me at the football club. He went absolutely bonkers. They got kicked out, the 2 directors, and then 6 weeks later, they paid 6,000 quid, and I went to Weymouth. So Dorchester got money for it. So I went to Weymouth and started off my first game. I was working in a oil refinery at the time, and we used to get up at like 6, go to the oil refinery. Like we would, like the big tankers, you put the steps in, and I was doing that. And then my first game was on the Saturday against Barrow away. Weymouth to Barrow is like the end of the earth. And I went, oh, can I miss this game? They went, no. So anyway, I left work at 11:15, got picked up at 1 o'clock. We got to Barrow in Dorchester. I got picked up in Dorchester on the way through. When we got to Barrow, it was 11:15 at night. So I'd been up since 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Went to bed, got up the next day, had breakfast, went to the game. I scored the winner, 1-0. Got home 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to work. I had to go to work at 7 o'clock. So I went straight to the oil refinery. So, yeah.
That's a real footballer then, Graham. That's a real footballer, working and playing.
Yeah, but Chris, it was hard. It was hard in them days, but I earned good money. I had a good job at the oil refinery, which was well paid. And I also had good wages at Weymouth. I was the highest paid player there. And, and at the end of it, they got their just rewards out of it. They believed in me. The chairman was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. And but if you put your hard work, I had so many knockbacks, but I wasn't going to give up. I was never, ever going to give up. And because I knew inside me, I had something. And I think Stuart knew that as well. Anyway, I played for Weymouth, and we got to the semi-final of the FA Trophy. And we lost in the last minute to Boston to go out 3-2. But in the meantime, Ron Atkinson had been watching me. And Stuart came to me about 4 games before the end of the season, 5 games. And he said, look, West Brom have put an offer in for you. And I said, okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm happy. So is Oxford. And I said, right. So anyway, they agreed a fee with West Brom, 35 grand. But I didn't go up and talk to them because I wanted to finish the season with Weymouth.
Yeah.
So we played the game, and then at the end of the season, Ron Atkinson, Stuart took me up with my wife, and we went up. We met Ron Atkinson. There was a testimonial, Ali Robinson's testimonial. He said, if you sign, you can play in the testimonial. And I said, well, I just need to calm down a bit. I need to take this all in. Anyway, I'm on 230 quid a week at Weymouth, 250, something like that. I'm getting 380 at the oil refinery. So they offer me 185 quid. So I have a big decision to make. Do I back myself and say, yes, I'm going to do this? Or do I just say, well, no, I'll just play out my non-league career and I'll make a good living and do it that way? So I spoke to the wife, and she said, no, if you're that good, then you'll get in the team and you'll get more money. So I said, okay. So anyway, we had a chat, and Ron Atkinson took my wife, or people took my wife around the houses and the districts, and yeah, she loved it. She loved it there, and came back. And on the Thursday, Stuart come. Ron Atkinson had the contract. I had agreed the contract. Ron Atkinson agreed the contract because I was on £185 plus I would get £100 appearance plus bonuses. So yeah, we'd have got there. So I got the pen in my hand, and Stuart knocks on the door and comes in, and he says, "Oh, Graham," he said, "Tottenham have just matched West Brom's offer." And I put the pen down, and Mike said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'd like to go and talk to him, at least." I said, "You know, they're a big club. You're a big club." No. He locked the door. He wouldn't let me out. We had a discussion. And I said, "Look,
Wow.
I promise you I won't sign for him until I speak to you." Which I did. Anyway, I went to Tottenham on the Friday, trained with them. Yeah, it was Ozzy Ardiles, Glenn Hoddle, Stevie Perriman, Ricky Villa, everybody you can think of. And we trained in the gym, and I never touched the ball for an hour and a half, just running around, closing people down. And anyway, got back in, and Peter Shreve said, "Oh, the gaffer wants you." So I went and saw Keith. And Keith used to sit in a high chair and look down at you. So you're down there, and he's looking down at you. And he said, "Oh, we'll give you £185 a week." I said, "Right." So he's obviously knows what they've offered.
Yeah.
£100 appearance. He said, "But if you get in the team and you do well, we're double, triple it. So don't worry." So I said, "Okay, all right." I said, "Let me. I need to talk to my wife, who had been out looking at houses. And you're coming from Southampton to London. Prices have gone through the roof." So anyway, we get on the train after on the Friday night. We get on the train back to Southampton, and I said to her, "What do you reckon?" She said, "Oh, I think we should go to West Brom. We'll have a better life there." And I said, "Really?" She said, Yeah, they were nice people and blah. So I said, "Well, yeah, but I want to go to Tottenham." So she said, "Look, West Brom would be better." I said, "No, Tottenham would be better." So we argued for an hour and a half on a train. Not arguing, but just discussing. So anyway, we got to the end of the line, and got to get off in Southampton. And I said, "Look," and I said, "We've got to go to Tottenham." She said, "No, West Brom." I said, "No, we've got to go to Tottenham." I said, "Because I'm playing and you're not, and I want to play for Tottenham."
Yeah.
So that was it, really. I rang up. So I rang Keith and said, "Yes, I want to sign for you, blah, 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 blah." And he said to me, "Bring your passport tomorrow. On Sunday, we're going to Austria for pre-season." So I said, "Okay." So, or was it the end of the season? It might have been the end of the season. And so I said, "Okay. I've got to ring Ron Atkinson now and tell him that I've signed for Tottenham." So I picked the phone up, ring up, and the secretary answers the phone. She says, "Hello?" I said, "Oh, is Ron there, please? It's Graham Roberts." "Oh, hello, Graham. The chairman's coming back off holiday to meet you. Everybody, the press are already lined up for tomorrow. Big press conference." I said, "Is Ron there, please?" She said, "Oh, your lovely wife. She'll enjoy it up here. We'll look after her." I said, Is Ron there?" She said, "Yeah, I'll put you through." Ron Atkinson picked the phone up, and he went, "Hello." I said, "It's Graham Roberts." I said, "I signed for Tottenham. Bye." Put the phone down. He's never spoke to me since.
Oh my God.
That was it. And I signed for Tottenham, and everything else is history.
And you've never spoke since?
Never spoke to him since then.
Wow. Graham, is it true that Bill Nicholson scouted you literally by accident? He was on a train, and then he didn't go to the game that he was originally going to go to, and people said, "You've got to go and watch Graham Roberts."
Yeah, he went to Swindon, and the game was called off, heavy rain. So he got back on the train, train station. He was on the platform and going back to London. And there was a lad, and this lad, by all means, I've never met him, said to Bill Nicholson, "Oh, you're the famous Bill Nicholson, aren't you?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm looking for a player down here, midfield player." He said, "But the game's off." And, so the lad said to him, "Get yourself to Weymouth today. They're playing Nuneaton at 3:00, and it's now 1:30. So Bill got he said, "Okay." He said, "Well, I'll take your word on that." He said, "Well, he's going to West Brom on Monday." So Bill got on a train to Bristol and got a taxi to Bristol to Weymouth. Got there just after we kicked off. We beat Nuneaton 6-0. I scored 2. I scored one from 45 yards, and right in the bottom corner. And so that's how Bill, he went back and told Keith that Tottenham never made the bid until I went to West Brom. So 2 weeks later, a week later or 2 weeks later, Tottenham hadn't made a bid. It was only West Brom that had made the bid. And then I went to West Brom. Bill Nicholson said to Keith Burtonshaw, "Go and buy him." And Keith put the bid in. And it was 35 grand. And if I played for England, Weymouth got another 100 grand.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about your England career shortly. What was it like signing for Spurs, walking into Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane for the very first time? Because, of course, you'd played non-league football. So walking into Spurs, that must have been some moment for you.
Well, the ground was being knocked down, wasn't it, at that time, 1980. The new stand was going up, and we were in porter cabins. So I thought, what have I come to? I thought I'd got muddled up. I thought I was going to West Ham. So they, so it was sort of, it was strange. But we started pre-season, and I worked all through the summer with Peter Shreves and coaches to get my fitness level up to what, the players were. I trained like 3-4 times a week in the summer. Never went on holiday, stayed and really worked hard. And then, when you walk into a dressing room and they say, at that time, there was a reserve dressing room and a first team dressing room, like it is now. And they put me in the first team dressing room. And I'm sitting there, absolutely, excuse my language, crapping myself. I'm sitting all these superstars and I'm thinking, anyway, I just used to work hard in training. And one day, I was playing in the reserves at the time. We were winning all the games and we always used to win the league. And Peter Shreves came to me and said, Keith came to me and said, "Oh, you're on the bench." I think it was Stoke away. And I played against, my first game, it was Arsenal at home, League Cup. And I came on as right back and I whacked Kenny Sampson. And he looked at me and thought, what the heck is that? And that's how I got my debut. And then my full debut was at Liverpool. We lost 2-1, sorry. Glenn scored a world beater in the top corner, and I wasn't supposed to play. Terry Yorick was there at the time. Terry was a lovely, lovely man. And Terry, we were in the gym on the Friday. We travelled like 1 o'clock. We travelled to Liverpool, and we were playing like this 8-a-side. And he went towards the wall, and I pushed him into the wall to get the ball, and he stuck his fingers out and broke 3 of his fingers. But he didn't. He just carried on, and I was his room partner. And anyway, we went to Liverpool. They iced it, bandaged it up. Went to Liverpool, and we've had dinner, we've had everything, and we've gone to bed. And he's laying there and he's gone to sleep. and I thought, oh, I'll just turn everything off and turn the TV off. I used to make him cups of tea, everything, and turned the lights off. About 1 o'clock in the morning, he's laid up, like stood up, screaming. I thought, what the? Go and get Mike Varney. So I went and got Mike Varney, and his hand was 4 times the size.
Wow.
And I said to Mike, you got to come. So he came, the doc came. They rushed him to hospital. Anyway, he broke 4 bones in his hand. And anyway, 12 o'clock the next day, Keith Bertingshaw called me and said, you're going to play right back today. So I went to play right back. Stevie Perriman went in midfield. And I have that game on video. And yeah, I did okay. And then from that day onwards, I stayed in the team. I played it right back for a while. And then Peter Street said to me, I think John Lacey, somebody got injured. Paul Miller, he got injured. I think one of them got injured. And we played Aston Villa at home. Aston Villa were league champions. And he asked me if I'd play centre-half. And I said, yeah, I'll play anyway. And I went in centre-half. We drew 2-2. It was a brilliant game. And I stayed there all the time. And then John Lacey got injured. And then Paul Miller came in. And me and Maxie just had a wonderful partnership together.
Graham, who made you feel the most welcome when you joined Tottenham?
I thought, no, the boys were good. The boys were really, really good. Yeah, really good. Stevie, he would make sure he would keep your feet on the ground. Stevie Perriman, you couldn't get up there when you had to be. But I was like that anyway because I was brought up the hard way. Glenn was good, but everybody, Chrissy Houghton was lovely. Maxie, so no, Stevie Archibald, I used to room with him. They were all good, and that's why we're always together now, because we had that tight knit family with us, and they were brilliant. And I got into the team, and Keith called me in, and he said, "Look, we want to double your wages. We're going to give you £400 a week." And I went, right, okay. And he went, we'll do £500. We'll do £500 a week. And then what happened was, if you won a game, you got another £500. So it was worth winning the game. You was thinking.
No wonder why you were clattering people.
Yeah. Right. But, you wanted to win. You wanted to win. And that they dangled that carrot. And, we won the game. We won the games. And, yeah, but in them days, Chris, I think it was 75-80% tax.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I used to put because I was so used to having not so much money. Then I would put it all in my pension, and then when I was 35, all that money I'd put in, my bonuses, my signing on fee, everything. Well, I've got a pension now that I can live on for the rest of my life. So,
Graham, talk to me about trophies, because trophies are way overdue at Spurs right now. Hopefully, they will be coming under Antonio Conte.
No.
But
we won Saturday.
We'll talk about that. Now, FA Cup. You won the FA Cup in 81 and 82. They must have been very special moments for you.
Yeah, they were, because the realization was that a few years before that, I was ball boy at Wembley. And to go back there in your first season and playing an FA Cup final, I used to get up, FA Cup final days, I used to be up 8 o'clock in the morning, put the TV on, watch them, all the players giving interviews. That was the day. And it finished it, if it was extra time, it finished at 6:30 at night. And you straight from there, you'd go out on the pitch outside the grass and you'd have a game. So it was a special. The first one was special. I had my teeth knocked out by Chris Cowlin. 3 teeth I lost. I did shout to him, "It's my ball," and I think he must have been deaf because he just swung and kicked his boot right in my mouth, and I was gone. Anyway, we got to half time, and we went to. I went in because I had blood everywhere, blood coming out of my mouth, blood in my head, which I sort of clattered heads with Kevin Reeves in the first 10 minutes. Anyway, so the doc's come in. He's, "You all right?" I said, "Well, a bit dizzy, but okay." He went, "Let's have a look at you." Anyway, he'd done some tests, and I was all over the place. I said, "Let me just put some water on my face." So he went, "Right, okay." He said, "But Keith Birchall come in." He said, "How is he?" And the doc went, "He can't play." And I went, "Pee off." I said, "This is an FA Cup final. I might never get to another one. And you want to take me off?" I said, "Not a chance." And I just ran back out and onto the pitch. And that was it. But
when you,
go on.
I was going to say, when you won the FA Cup in '82, you must have just thought this was fantastic. You just thought that the trophies just must be coming every year.
Yeah, but we always thought we had chances. We had a brilliant squad.
Yeah.
Because we had youngsters coming through. We had the first team squad. We had Alan Brazil joined a little bit later, and Paul Price joined in '82. We had a brilliant squad, and everybody thought we could win the league, the cup. We was in the semi-final of the Cup Winners' Cup against Barcelona, who kicked us off the park. So we knew we had a good squad. We knew we had a good team. Aussie, the Falklands, didn't help. We played the semi-final, and he had to. They sort of. He played in it, and then he shot off to. I think he shot off to the Argentine World Cup squad, and Ricky stayed. But Ricky wanted to play in the cup final, but Keith. They came to an agreement that no, he couldn't play. It was too bad at that time. The Falklands War was really, really, really bad at that time. So anyway, we played the game. First game was probably not the best, but we went 1-0 up and then conceded a sloppy goal, long throw, and the lad headed it in. So we got to the Thursday night again, and I'm in midfield with Mickey Hazard and Glenn, and I picked the ball up on the halfway line and just started running with it. And as I'm running, Tony Curry's coming behind me, Bob Hazel's in front of me, and I've knocked the ball through Bob Hazel, and he's took a swipe at me. I've jumped over his leg, cut inside the penalty area, and Tony Curry brought me down. And Glenn scored the penalty, the winner. And so if I'd have kept my feet and kept going, it might have been as good as Ricky Vilia's gone. But so it was from the halfway line, mine, not just outside the area. So
great. What was it like in the changing room at Spurs when Ozzy and Ricky Villiers signed at Tottenham?
Well, I wasn't there then. I wasn't there. I didn't. They joined in '78. I joined in 1980. But they, Ozzy tells a story. When he joined, he didn't know that Tottenham were in Division 2 and just got promoted. He didn't know that, nor Ricky. But that's what it is. But, listen, you play with Ozzy. Ozzy's amazing. What a player. Ricky was a different player. Ricky was you get one brilliant game and then 2 average and a bad one. Where Ozzy, you would get good. So yeah.
Graham, talk to me about the UEFA Cup final 1984. It's probably the most proudest moment in your career, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got to say, like, FA Cup was amazing, both of them. But to be captain, like, you know, in the first leg, they set Stevie Perriman up and got him booked. They knew he was on a booking.
Yeah.
So they set him up, got him booked, so he misses the final. So Keith pulled me afterwards and said, look, you're going to be captain. So straight away, in my head was, we ain't going to lose this. You know, we're not going to lose this final. It was tough for 2 weeks or 10 days, 2 weeks. We were, you know, because I think Paul Miller had to play on the Monday. We played Southampton, the last game of the season, bank holiday Monday, and he was the only one that played, and the club got fined. They got fined some money because Keith played all the youngsters. We got beat 5-0, but we were in a UEFA Cup final two nights later. So what did they expect, you know? And anyway, we got to the final, and like the days were going by, and we used to be training at Cheshunt, and Stevie pulled us, and he went, ITV showing the game. So Stevie went to the chairman and said, we want 20% of the game, of the money for the players' pool. And Irving Scholar turned round to him and said, not a chance. Stevie said, well, you're going to not have a team playing then, because we'd all agreed we wouldn't play. So Irving Scholar said, well, if you don't want to play, don't play. I'll play the youth team. So we were supposed to go to the Ponsbourne Hotel on the Monday night. Anyway, we turned up for training on a Tuesday. We didn't do nothing wrong. We turned up, trained, everything. Stevie went to Irving Scholar again and said, look, don't ruin what's going to be an amazing night. No, you're not getting anything. You got your bonuses. You're not getting any TV money. So with that, we went home after training. And then at 6 o'clock at night, we all got a phone call. Irving Scholar had changed his mind. We went to the Ponsbourne Hotel, stayed there. And then on the Wednesday, we went training in the morning. We had a practice match in the morning. Went back, had lunch, had a little sleep. I went to the ground. I left about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I got to, 3:30. I got to Tottenham High Road. I sat there for an hour. I couldn't move. There must have been 200,000 people. Honestly, you couldn't. So I jumped out of my car, told the policeman. He said, all right, we'll bring your car up to the entrance. And I walked up into the stadium, into the main doors, and went to the thing. And all the players struggled to get there on that night. And and when you're captain, it's special. You have to lead by example. I was different to Stevie Perriman. Stevie Perriman was very vocal, would, get you right at it, where I led by example, and I wouldn't play less than what anybody in the team would play. I made sure that, it was 100%. And so the game was underway. Second half, I thought we played really well first half. Second half, we're still playing okay. They break away and score. And I look around and all the boys are dejected. And I was, come on, we're still in this. There's 25 minutes to go. And when you're captain, you have to dig in. You really have to dig in. And I remember the ball coming. They played offside. Very, very good. So the ball came out and I chipped it over. Mickey didn't come back. And I ran through all of them and I was going through on goal and Mickey took the ball and they gave offside. I've never forgiven him for that. Never. Anyway, so he makes up for it because Ozzy comes on. Ozzy had like really bad groins, ankles. So he couldn't play no more than 20 minutes. And comes on and Aussie the corner, bouncy round, and Aussie left-footed whacks it against the crossbar and goes back out. But I knew as soon as Mickey picked it up, he would whip it back in, and I happened to be in the right place, and I got myself free from two defenders trying to drag me back, just pushed them off, and then just side-footed the volley into the bottom corner. And it was probably the greatest night of my life. Unbelievable.
Can I ask, Graham, how many times you relived that moment?
I still do now. You know, the thing about it is you're in front of your own crowd.
Yeah.
Got 50,000 people there, and you're making them happy. And that's what matters. But it also made me happy. It made the team bucked up a bit more then. But it was like, I don't live on it, but, you know, I go through it. I sit here some nights and you know, when you're watching Tottenham, you're thinking, wow, what a stadium and all that. But I love White Hart Lane. I loved it. I loved the shout. I loved the fans getting really close to you. And yeah, it was a special night for me. Really special night.
Were the fans always good for you?
Yeah. Chris, I scored 2 own goals in a quarter-final of a League Cup. We're playing Burnley. I scored 2 own goals and they clapped me off the pitch. They forgave me because it wasn't my fault. One slid off my head and went in, and the other one sliced off my foot. But I had a great, you know, for me, they're brilliant fans. Absolutely, they're amazing. I have a bond with them, and I love them. I love every Tottenham fan, and you know, at the end of it, we got what we wanted because it went to penalties. And I said to Keith Burtonshaw in the morning, if it goes to penalties, then I'll take the first one. And he went, why? Why don't you take the last one? I said, because I might not get to take one. So if I take the first one, I'll score. It'll put pressure on them. He went, okay. So we won the toss. I took the first penalty and scored. Morten Olsen, who was a really good player, he went up and missed. So all of a sudden, the pressure's on them. And then when Danny missed the 5th one, the crowd actually won us the game because they sang his name. And you can see the lad Good Johnson walking up to the penalty spot, and he's looking around and everybody's just cheering one Danny Thomas. And he's thinking, he just missed a penalty. You could see it in his demeanour. And Tony Parks had been diving to the left 4 times. And the 5th time he dived to the right and saved it. Yeah. And it was just mayhem, absolutely mayhem.
It's funny, actually, because all the ex-Spurs players that I talk to, I always ask them what's their favourite memory at White Hart Lane. And you know, most will give a goal. Steve Perriman recently, he actually signed a seat from White Hart Lane for me, and he put his favourite memory on the seat, and it was actually that moment, the crowd singing, "There's only one Danny Thomas." Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, you could see their player was looking around thinking, but he just missed a penalty.
Yeah,
and you knew he wasn't ready. So yeah, it went in our favour, and you know, for me, I always thank the fans for that because they actually won us the UEFA Cup that night.
How heavy was the trophy?
Very. It was 11:15 at night. No energy, nothing left. And trying to lift it was really heavy, but it was a brilliant night. I had pictures galore of that night, scoring, holding the UEFA Cup. You know, so yeah.
What did the team do after that night?
We stayed in the club. I was playing for England on the Saturday. Me, Danny, I think it was me, Danny, Gary Stevens, Gary Mabbott, and Mickey. 4 of us. So, yeah, I was upstairs with all my family and my mates and looked at the clock. it was 4:30 in the morning.
That's a good night.
We better go home. So we went home. I had to be back at the ground at 8 o'clock to have photographs with Keith Bertinshaw. It was his last game, wasn't
it?
Yeah. We had photographs together for the press and all that. And then I got a taxi a car picked me up to take me to Heathrow. And I met all the lads, and the four of us went up to Scotland to play for England against Scotland.
Before we talk about your England career, what was it like working under Keith Bertinshaw? Did you two always get on?
Not always. Yeah, I never had arguments with him, ever. The only argument I ever had, I've been playing midfield in 1982. Ricky got injured. I scored 2 goals at Brighton, I think I did. I scored nearly every other game from midfield. And Ricky got fit, and Keith, we played Liverpool League Cup final, went to the hotel, and Keith called me to his room, and he went, "I'm leaving you out of the squad tomorrow. I'm playing Ricky." I was gutted, absolutely gutted. And I always mention it to him now. It's the only cup we ever lost, cup final. So, not a good. No, but that was the only time and he said, "Look, we got a cup final coming up in the FA Cup. We get there, you're playing that." I said, "Yeah, but some of these players, and I'm better than them, and I've proved it." And he just said, "Well, I've made my decision." Stevie Perriman wasn't happy with it. But it's
Graham, when you talk about all those players in that team at the time, that is a whole dressing room full of leaders. Yeah. Which you don't see in a lot of teams now.
Well, you don't see any of them, do you? You don't see anybody like Stevie Perriman would shout at you and point and do this. And I was different. I would. I still had a voice. Glenn Hoddle was vocal. Maxie was vocal. Stevie Archibald was vocal.
Yeah.
Tony Galvin was probably the quietest. Chrissy and Tony Galvin, they were the quietest. But everybody else had a voice. And, we had meetings and everybody, spoke their bits. And, it was a brilliant team to play. I would say 81 to 84 was the best Tottenham team.
Do you think we should have won more?
Yeah, we should have won the league. Remember in 85, we lost it to Everton, didn't we? We lost to Everton at home. I scored a 35-yarder, top corner. Southall pushed Mark Falco's header over the bar. It was unbelievable. We absolutely battered them on the night. Mark Bowen gave a ball back pass and it went to Trevor Stephen and he scored, and we lost 2-1. But we played, I think that year or 1 year, we played 11 games in 19 days, 18 or 19 days. At the end of the season, I was shattered. I played, myself, Stevie, we played in all those 11 games. It was tiring. Really, really tiring. And the pitches weren't the best. Muddy and bouncy, some of them. But it was what it was. And we got on with it. We didn't moan. We got on with it. And we ended up finishing third. I think Everton won it, Liverpool second, and we finished third. Yeah, we should have won the league. We should have won the league that year.
Graham, you made your England debut in 1983. You won 6 caps for the country. How was that playing for England? That must have been another very proud moment in your career.
Oh, I think Weymouth loved it. They got
that.
Yeah. No, how I found out, we were on tour in Trinidad, and Peter Shreves pulled me to the side and he said, "Oh, you've been picked for England." I went, "What?" He said, "You've been picked for England." He said, "You and Glenn."
Did you not see it coming then?
No, I wasn't I didn't ever think I would get in England. No. I was playing well at the time. I was playing really, really well, centre half. But you don't think, there's people like Terry Butcher, Russell Osman, who played for Bobby Robson at Ipswich, So, and Alvin Martin was there. But no, I got put in, and Bobby Robson watched the training, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to play. We're playing Northern Ireland away." He said, "I'm going to play you and Terry." So it was an amazing night. I nearly scored an own goal. It was pouring with rain, and the ball dipped, and I tried to head it away, and it's Peter Shilton pulled off a wonder save. So when you go back on a Saturday night and you're in the hotel, because we played Scotland on the Wednesday, and I said, I thought to myself, I was speaking to my wife and on the telephone, and not the mobile phones then, it was a telephone. And I said to her, look, I didn't play very well. I was a bit nervous. She said, well, don't worry, you did all right. It was 0-0. I said, yeah, but I'm not going to play again, I don't think. Anyway, Bobby Robson pulled me on the Sunday and said, you're playing against Scotland. So it gave me a lift, and we beat Scotland 2-0. And Charlie Nicholas made his debut for Scotland, and he got a few whacks. He was playing for Celtic at the time. And so we won that. We then went to, trying to think who we played. After that, we played Russia, and we were going on tour. We played Russia on the Saturday, I think it was, and then we were going on tour. And I had a slight groin strain. It was nothing much, but I didn't think it was much anyway. And we were going to Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, I think, or Peru, something like that. So went on the aeroplane, got to the Brazil, lovely hotel. The gaffer said, Bobby Robson said, we're training at 6. Went down, he said, see how you feel. I said, yeah, I'll do some running with Fred Street, the physio. So Fred had me doing 200 metres. I did like 10 of them. And all of a sudden I said, Fred, I need to go to the toilet. He went, yeah, go inside. He said, go to the toilet. Well, I went in and I never came out. And he came in worried. About 5-10 minutes later, I was laid on my back in the toilet, and I was in that much agony. And they rushed me to hospital, and I ruptured my appendix.
Wow.
Yeah, and they said, look, we need to operate. He's got an hour to live maximum. And they operated on me. I've got a scar. Well, you can't see it, but let's go that way. It was probably about that long.
Yeah.
They opened me up, saved me, which I thanked them. England, Bobby Robson came the next day. They played Brazil the next night when I was having my operation, and I was in hospital bed. I was watching the boys. It was John Barnes. Remember his wonder goal?
Yeah.
Drags it back and through. And so he, the boys came, Brian Robson and Ray Wilkins, God bless him. They came and saw me. But when they came in, they went like, bloody hell, Robbo. I said, what? He said, you're still covered in blood. I was still covered in the blood. They hadn't cleaned me up or anything. I was so weak. Honestly, I couldn't do a thing. So Bobby Robson came in. Anyway, the nurse came in and cleaned me up. And Bobby Robson came in and he said, look, we're going to Uruguay. We'll leave, I think it was Dick Rag. We're leaving Dick Rag with you. You go back to the hotel when you get released, have a few days there, then go back to England. So I rang. I thought, I got to ring my wife here. So I rang my wife. I said, look, this has happened. She said, right, okay. I said, look, I don't feel good. I feel so weak. They're not giving me any food. All they're giving me is drinks of water. I said, I've got nothing inside me. So she went, all right. So she rang Keith Burtonshaw. Keith Burtonshaw rang the chairman, and they got a nurse from Harley Street to fly out, come into the hotel, came into the hospital, knocked everybody out of the way, and said, I'm here to look after him. And they all went, no. And he went, yes. So she said to me, how are you feeling? I said, oh, I'm so hungry. She went downstairs and bought all these biscuits. And she kept feeding me biscuits to get me some energy. So she said, the next day, she said, look, stay here tonight. I'll stay with you. Stay here tonight. Tomorrow, we'll get you in a wheelchair. We'll take you to the hotel. And I went back to the hotel for 10 days. Used to go out by the pool, just sit there. And she fed me. And we flew back first class to England. And it was. And then after that, because I rang Keith, my wife rang Keith Burtonshaw, Bobby Robson never picked me again.
Wow.
Yeah, never picked me again.
Well, Graham, talking of food, what was your diet like as a footballer? Was it good?
Yeah, it was all right. I thought it was all right. I got told, we used to have, Stevie Perrin was saying, he used to have fillet steak, okay, before the game, like 3 hours before the game. So you're going on 30 years from then, to 40 years now. But so I spoke to a physio and a nutrition, and they said, you had what? I said, I had fillet steak. It doesn't digest. So no, it did, because I played. No, it sits in your stomach and it won't digest for like 5 or 6 hours. And I went, well, that's what I had. Can you imagine these players having fillet steak now? God, mad, isn't it? It's mad. I used to have rice pudding, used to have beans on toast. I'd have a change every so often, but fillet steak was the main one.
How did you feel when you left Spurs in 1986 for Rangers?
Absolutely gutted. David Pleat took over, all right? And I know David Pleat's been on a podcast, the Tottenham podcast thing, and they had him on and they asked him about me, and he said, oh no, he said, I remember in the garage and me and Graham shook hands, and I never shook his hand. I never will, because the day he took over, he rang my house, and my wife picked the phone up, and he went, it's David Pleat, I want to talk to Graham Roberts. And she said, oh, I'll get him for you. And he went, quick. So anyway, I went there. I took my time, went there. And I went, hello? I said, why are you calling me? I said, I don't want to join Luton. And he went, no, I'm new Tottenham manager. Just been given a new Tottenham manager's job. I'm ringing round and you're not in my plans. And I said, well, okay, that's fine. I didn't say that. I went, ball, you can understand what I said. So we didn't have a very good understanding, me and him. But I thought, well, you're not getting rid of me. So we cancelled the holiday that year. We were going to go to America. And I had a chat with my wife, and she was brilliant. She said, yeah, So I said, look, I need to get fit. I need to get really 150% fit. You can't do that, but that's what I wanted in my mind. So I trained the whole summer, went back to training. I was doing okay, doing really well. And he bought Richard Gough, and he moved Gary Mabbott to centre half. He sold Paul Miller, sold Mark Falco, and he was looking to sell me straight away. And I said, well, I'm not going. And he put me into midfield, and we started off the season flying. And he said, you know, we were winning games. We went to Aston Villa. We were top of the league. We beat them 3-1. You know, and we were playing really well. And I always remember, I went and watched Rangers play Celtic in the cup final with Richard Gough and Chris Waddle. Coming back, I'm sitting on the plane. Them two are sat together, and I'm sitting next to a bloke. And he said, how are you, Graham? I said, yeah, I'm fine, thanks. I said, do I know you? He went, well, I'm Graham Souness's brother-in-law. He said, wouldn't you like to go to Rangers? I said, well, I'm happy where I am. I said, I love playing for Tottenham. I'm happy where I am. I said, but if it comes to it, it comes to it. You know, that's the way it is in football. So anyway, I got a phone call from Graham Souness saying that we want you and we want to make a bid. So I went, okay. So I didn't say anything to anybody, just got on, kept playing. We went to Man United, and it was a Sunday game, live on TV. And the first half, we were 3-0 down. Everybody had a stinker. And Ray Clements pinned me against the wall and said, don't leave the club if you're going to leave on this. I said, no, you're right. And we went back out. I made 2 goals for Clyde. We drew 3-3. And we sort of, that was it. Anyway, the following week, I think we played Watford. And then we had an away game at Chelsea, December the 22nd. No, sorry, December the 16th, something like that. So we're training all week, doing the set pieces. David Pleat picks the team. I'm in the team on the Friday. Go home. 5 o'clock in the morning, the phone goes. Well, you think 5 o'clock in the morning, there's something wrong with your mum, dad, something's happened, you know, anything. And it was David Pleat. He said, you've been sold. We don't need you today. And then he put the phone down.
I was waiting for you to say that you phoned David Pleat and said, I've signed for Rangers, then put the phone down.
Didn't do that then. No, but...
Have you two spoke since?
No, I've never spoken to him.
Wow.
I'll tell you a story. We were...
But you're always at the Tottenham Stadium, and so is David Pleat. So
I just ignore him.
Wow.
Yeah. So I after my football career, I became manager, and I was at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Bournemouth had a night game, and I went to the ground, and I needed some petrol to get home. So I pulled in, filling my petrol up. This Merc pulls by the side of me. Somebody jumped out and says, all right, Mr. Roberts, how are you? And it's David Pleat, isn't it? And I shouldn't have done it. I said, oh, David, don't park too near the curb. You never know what you pick up these days here. So that was it. And,
Graham, talk to me about your managerial career, because I can't believe, actually, today I was looking through obviously your career, and I can't believe how many teams you've actually managed. Talk to me about your managerial career, and why don't you manage now?
I don't like it no more. I don't like working 7 days a week for what they pay you. And I'm not a money man, okay? I loved it when I was manager. I loved being involved. Most of the clubs I ever managed won the league or won a cup. I think I was at Enfield. We won the cup. We missed out on the league championship. I got sacked from there. I went to Stevenage. They won the league. I played for them, not managed. I played for them. Paul Fairclough was the manager, and I had an agreement that he would let me go if a managerial job came. And when Yeovil came in for me, he wouldn't let me go. So I walked out and never played for Yeovil. Became their manager, and they were trying to negotiate and Stevenage wanted £25,000 to let me play. And I said, no, don't pay it. So I missed probably a season and a bit. And but I was manager, and Yeovil got relegated the first year in the Ryman League because they were down before I went there. But I had to clear all the. It was such a messy situation where you had full-time players training twice a week. They were getting like £600 a week at that time in 1992, something like that, 93. They were getting like £600-700 a week, and and I said, well, if you're going to get that, then you need to come in training every day. I know we got a job, so I had to get them out. So I got them out, got my players in that I wanted, and then that first year, we played Enfield and stopped Enfield going up, who had sacked me, which made my day. I loved Enfield. I loved all the fans there. But there was a man called Tony Lazarou and George Borg, who was my assistant, that backstabbed me. But that was life. That's football. So I made it sure that they wasn't going to get promoted. And the following year, we went up and we played Yeovil. We played Enfield at a game at, I think it was 3 games from the end of the season at home, and there was 9,000 people there.
Wow.
In a league game. And we drew 2-2. So I think we were 3 points clear of them. We went to Bromley on the Tuesday night and beat Bromley 4-1. And they lost something. I can't remember where they lost. At Harrogate or something. Not Harrogate. Harrow, something like that. They lost, and we went up as champions. And I took Yeovil up and really enjoyed it. Loved the club. Brilliant club. I think we played Cardiff in the cups and everything. So I enjoyed my time as manager. I went to Slough, won a trophy there. Went to Chesham, won a trophy there. Went to Bournemouth, won a trophy. That's a funny one, Bournemouth. I was at Carshalton. We won the league there, and I left because when you win the league, your money has to go up. Not mine, but the players, and they didn't want to invest any more money. So it's a waste of time. So anyway, I went to Bournemouth. I didn't want to go. He rang me, Danny, the chairman there, Danny. Anyway, he rang me and he said, look, we've got 22 games left. We want to get promoted. I said, well, where are you in the league? He said, the 3rd from bottom. I said, oh, you don't want much then. So anyway, so he went, do you think you could help us? I said, yeah, sure. So anyway, I went. I did a deal with him that he gave me, I think it was £300 a week. Plus, if we got him promoted, he gave me £5,000 bonus. So we played 22 games. How many do you think we won and lost?
Well, if you're on a bonus of £5,000, you've got the incentive there, haven't you?
Yeah, but not me. But I had to get the players. So
yeah,
how many do you think we won and lost?
Out of how many? 22.
Yeah,
I reckon you won 18 and you lost 4.
We won 21.
21.
Drew 1.
Wow.
And we got promoted as champions.
Wow.
And so I went to him, did I? Like at the end of the season, we had a do, and he went, yeah, brilliant. But I said, I need my bonus. I'll give you a car. I said, I don't want a car. So you said I can get £5,000. He went, no, I'll give you a car. So anyway, took the car. I thought, I'll sell it. So anyway, didn't think anything about it. Anyway, I went back pre-season and I signed a goalie who used to play for me at Yeovil. And I said, I've signed somebody today, a goalie. He went, no. He said, we got a goalie. said, no, he's not what I want. He went, I've signed him today. I said, no, he's not what I want. He went, I've signed him and he's staying. I said, well, you pick the team. I'm off. So then I left. I just walked
And that was
out.
that.
I walked out. And 3 days later, he sent some heavy mob to pick the car up.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
True story.
Graham, what was it like when you managed Pakistan and Nepal?
There's some good stories there. I'd given up, really. I'd had enough. Because I think before that I'd managed Clyde, hadn't I? I'd managed Clyde,
Yes.
and
I didn't know whether to mention that or not.
Yeah, we and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time there. We beat Celtic, we stopped them doing a treble.
Yeah.
And that takes some feet. All right. In them days it was unbelievable. And so it was a feat to beat them, So at the end of the season we went on tour, and Joe Miller, we played these 2 games, and Joe Miller called me a racist, and anyway, it went to court for another. The club suspended me, but they never suspended him. Anyway, it went to court, it went to tribunal, and the judge on the Thursday, they said we have proof that Graham was what he was swearing and being a racist to a person on the pitch. I said, well, you haven't. So they went, we got a video. So my lawyer said, well, we'd like to see the video. And the judge said, yeah, we'd like to see the video. So they said, oh, we can't find it. So he said, well, you've got 1 hour to go home, go back to the club, find it, give it to the lawyers of Graham. He has a look at it, and then we'll bring it back here. We'll all look at it. So he adjourned the court case for 2 hours, 3 hours. We came back on Friday. My lawyer rings me Thursday night. He says, you need to come see this. I said, what? Just come and watch the video. I said, all right. So I drove into Glasgow, went up the stairs. He's got the video on. He says, I've just watched the whole game for an hour and a half. There was 4 people that had said I've been a racist. Okay. They said they were stood behind their dugout, which you couldn't, but they were stood like 5 yards away from me, all 4 of them. Okay. So they got the video, and do you know where they were? They were the other side of the pitch, taking the money for the people coming through the gate. So we had them. We knew that everything was a lie. Yeah. So he said, right, we go to court tomorrow. So the judge went to Clyde, lawyers, right, where's the video? He said, oh, we don't want to use it. We don't want it no more. So my lawyer went, no, we do. So he put it on, and the judge just couldn't believe what he was seeing. He said, he stopped it. He said, I've been here for 4 days now. This could have been sorted in 1 hour. Anyway, so he came up. He made them guilty, not me. I got away with it, and it cost me 20 grand for my lawyers, and in a tribunal you don't get that back. But the club had to pay me 35 grand for my wages, and so 20 of it went to lawyers, which I had to have, and so they sacked Joe Miller that night for telling lies. Yeah, so that was a bit sad because I really enjoyed my time there. But no, so I'd had enough then. I just couldn't get it around. I couldn't get around it. And I got a phone call from 2 agents. Oh, we got you a job. I said, I don't want a job. I don't want any more jobs. We got you a job. I said, I'm not interested. Look, it's a lot of money thousands and thousands of dollars. I said, where? Come to Terminal 3 at Heathrow, and we'll meet you there. Just bring your passport and your bags and whatever. So I went. My missus went, go. I said, oh. So I went, and there's Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, Thailand, everywhere, right? Philippines. And then in the corner was India and Pakistan. So I said, where are we going? He went, Pakistan. I went, you're having a laugh, aren't you? I said,
how many games did you manage them for?
We had 5 games, but there was practice matches as well, practice games. But 5 games in the. We played Brian Robson's team in the tournament. So anyway, my first day training there was mad. I went for a run 6 o'clock in the morning around the training pitch, and a geezer with a gun was following me, and I thought, what the? So anyway, I asked the president. I said, "What's the geezer with the gun?" He went, "Oh," he said, "because you're English, you could be shot." I said, "That ain't in the contract." So he went, No. So the next day, they had 8 or 9 all looking at the stadium for a sniper. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, honestly. You couldn't make it up. So anyway, I've been there 2 weeks, and we went to a hotel. And the 2 agents took me there, and they said, look, you can have a sauna. It was a 7-star hotel. So I said, all right, because no hotels out there are 7-star. It's probably 2-star, all right? But it was a lovely hotel. So we're in there. So we're sitting down, having a drink, but it was like tea or coffee or Coke. That was it. There's no booze. So talking, all of a sudden, all the windows shattered. We died on the floor, glass in my head, in my shoulders. I'm like, what the? And the waiter come over, he said, would you like another drink? I went, what? Oh, you could make it up, honestly. So with that, I said, what's happened? He went, oh, they blew a bus up outside and it's just shattered all the windows. Happens every so often. Oh, like bloody hell. So we went from there to Islamabad. That's where Bin Laden got blown up. Went there. I went on a trip. They called me one day. This is funny. I know we're getting the top, but this is funny. So 2 fellas are coming to pick me up. I don't know who they are, right? But I've got to go and meet these governors of these 4 towns. We're going to build AstroTurf pitches, and I'll make a lot of money out of it. This is part of the agent's deals. And I said, okay. So I did training in the morning, got in the car, started going, an hour, 2 hours. I'm thinking, how far is this? 3 hours. I'm thinking, I've been kidnapped. 4 hours. I've been kidnapped. I've got to hold my hands up. I've been kidnapped. So I ring my friend, my girlfriend, and I get through to her. So I've got my mobile. And she says, Robbo, I'm busy. I can't talk. And put the phone down. I'm like, are you kidding me or what? So now I can't get hold of her. I'm going up through the mountains, and in the mountains there's these big sort of like you drive through the mountain, road through the mountain. And I'm thinking, where 5 hours? I'm thinking, oh my God. So anyway, we get to this place, and it's like a shanty town. So the 2 lads said to me, they pull up, there's nothing open, bar one cafe. Out. I said, why? Out. So he kicked me out. So now I'm stood in this shanty town 5 hours from where I should be. The next minute, like about 10 minutes later, the 2 agents turn up. I said, it's bloody 5 hours. Oh yeah, we didn't know that. Anyway, we looked down and there's about 8 Hummers coming up the road. Big limousines. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what's happening here? They pull up. All the bodyguards jump out with guns. The governors get out of each car. Come, we have tea. Come. So we go upstairs. So they said, this is the project. My agent said, this is the project. 10 minutes it took. Okay. They agreed to it. And then they all went. And now I've got to get in the car and go 5 hours back for 10 minutes. I was like, Jesus Christ. So I got back like 20 past 1 in the morning. It was mad. Honestly, it was absolutely mad. And but anyway, the last one was we had a tournament. So we went to Karachi to fly to China. And it's like Asian tournament where all the countries in Asia, it's like the World Cup, but it's not as big as that, right? So our first game was against Thailand. And so the night before, we stayed in the Sheraton Hotel in Karachi. Go to bed, get up the next morning, 5 o'clock. We leave at 7:30 on the flight. We arrive at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, go to the hotel. Well, it was sports complex. So I said to all the boys, go to bed. I said, we'll wake you at 6. We'll train at 7, what time the game is. We'll get used to the weather, the climate. So I put the TV on, didn't I? So BBC World News. I thought, oh, brilliant. At least I can see something. Hotel bomb blast. I went, where's that? In Karachi. They blew the Sheraton Hotel. When we left in the morning, at 10 o'clock that morning, they blew it to smithereens. You couldn't make it. I was like, we were in there like 7 hours ago. And it blew it.
Wow.
You ever look at pictures and you'll see it's just derelict, just gone, the whole lot. And I thought, oh, bloody hell. So anyway, I think we finished about 3rd or 4th in the tournament overall. And because they were only young kids and young lads learning. So flew back. And all I want to do is go home, pick my money up and go home. So
well, I was going to say, why did you leave the job?
The president, actually, Chris, it was a lot of money. A lot. So anyway, I went and saw the president and he went, Graham, he said, everybody in Pakistan love you. I said, oh, right. He said, we want to sign you for 2 more. I said, no chance. I said, get me on that flight. Tomorrow morning, I'm flying back to England. They were gutted. They wanted me to stay for 2 years. Anyway, I got home. I said to my missus, never again. I said, I can't go through that. Two weeks later, I'm flying out to Nepal. It was mad. It was just mad. They were good. Nepal was nice, but it's so run down. I got there, went into my digs. So I turned the light off. A minute later, the light went out. I went, oh, shit. What's happening there? So I went downstairs, said, the light's just blown. No, it's a power cut. I said, what do you mean it's a power cut? 23 hours a day, they have a power cut.
Oh, my God.
Every day.
Wow.
How I got through it, I'll never know.
So no more management for you?
Unless it's a decent one, no. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed every minute I ever did. Won lots of trophies. But unless you get, a league club or a decent club, it's just too much hassle. So I'll probably
unless someone asks you to meet them at, well, unless you get the next call, meet me at Heathrow Airport, and it'd be a surprise job again. Yeah. Graham, how much would you be worth in today's market?
I don't know. I suppose I thought I did okay as a centre half. People say Romero, me What did he cost? 40, 45?
Yeah.
So I don't. It's the way life's gone, isn't it? It's the way, you know, the money's gone. It's you don't talk in 500 grand now. You're talking 50 million, 60 millions, and yeah, it's, you know, Chris, I had a brilliant time at Tottenham. I scored some, you know, like you said, 35 goals. I scored at Rangers. I scored at Chelsea. I didn't like Chelsea. I got to say, I loved the fans there when I played, but as a football club, it wasn't good.
Yeah. You'll notice I didn't even mention your career at Chelsea.
No, but you know, like I knew it was going to be tough the first day I arrived there. When I signed my contract, Ken Bates and Bobby Campbell went to register it, and the waitress came in. She threw the tea down on the table, which spilt, threw the sandwich, and that all went everywhere. I said, "Is there something wrong, love?" She said, "Yeah, we ate you, yids."
Wow.
And I thought, oh my God, what have I done? But listen, we got off. I'm to blame for what they do now because I got them promoted back into the first division. So yeah. I'm to blame. I scored 22 goals that year.
How are the Chelsea fans with you now?
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, okay. I don't go there, Chris. I don't think you can, when you're working at one club, you can go to another. I don't believe. As much as I would love to go, I get asked. I'll tell you, I've got to say, every year, the girl at Chelsea rings me. Oh, Graham, are you in the same address as you are? Like last year, I said yeah, and I get a Fortnum and Mason hamper every year from them.
Okay,
that's you know, that is amazing. Every ex-player gets one.
Yeah.
So,
well, I reckon you should send that. I reckon you should send that to Ron Atkinson as an apology.
Well, no, I'm not apologising because I had a good career.
I know. I'm joking. Graham, I want to ask you about social media because you're very active on social media. If you were still a footballer, do you think you would be on it?
Yeah, I would, but I wouldn't be so. You know, it'd be very difficult because the way they are now, there's people that will hammer you, and you just got to be very careful. Like Harry's on there, and you know, and so yeah, you got to be very careful. But when, like me, I don't give a toss now.
I've noticed.
Did it take me how you see? That's me.
Yeah. Some quick ones for you. The hardest and the best player that you played against?
Hardest player, I'd say Mick Harford.
Okay.
Billy Whitehurst, maybe. Best player, Kenny Dalglish was good. Played with or against?
Well, with or against?
Well, Glenn Oddle was the best player. Ozzy was brilliant. When I went to Rangers, Graham Souness was brilliant player. You know, I played against Platini. He destroyed England one night. Yeah, so there's too many. You can't really, you know.
You haven't mentioned Mickey Hazard. He won't be happy with you.
Mickey. I'm telling you now, Mickey Hazard was a great player. He was a great player, but he was homesick a lot, and he never really pushed himself to the limit.
Yeah.
You know, he always thought he was behind Glenn, where he should have been in the team with Glenn. And that's what, you know, he had to always tell me that he didn't push himself enough.
What was your favourite away ground and the place that you hated going to?
I've got to say, hated was Notts County because it was a bog. Every time you played there, it was a bog. I love playing at Everton. I love playing at Southampton, the Dow. I like Lauren McMenemy said I'd never make a footballer because I wasn't strong enough or tall enough, and I scored 6 goals against them. So yeah, I love playing it now. Yeah.
Graham, I want to finish talking about Tottenham Hotspur next season, because of course Antonio Conte guided Spurs to Champions League football, which is absolutely superb. But 6 signings in so far.
Yeah.
What have you made of Tottenham's transfer business, and what do you expect for next year?
I think the business is good. I think we have to get rid of a few, but he's made a statement already with Ndombele, the left back, Region. Who else? He left somebody else back as well, didn't he?
Winks, Lo Celso, and Ndombele.
Who? Winks, yeah, Winks. So
yeah.
I feel sorry for Harry Winks, because Harry, when he got in the team, he was passing the ball forward. All of a sudden, the last few years, he's been getting it, give it to centre half, get it back, give it to the other centre half. The game is about going forward, not about going backwards. People said to me, "Oh, Harry Winks had like 340 touches." I said, "Yeah, but they were all to the centre halves." You've got to be more expansive. So I feel sorry for him, but would we have won a trophy with Harry Winks in the team? Not really. I think the players we've got in midfield now, Bissouma, I think Bentancur, I think he's a brilliant player. Højbjerg, he's fighting for his place, so he's getting better. So there's room there to, I still think that we need a left wing back. I think Jed Spence is a brilliant player. I watched him 3 times last year.
Yeah,
he's a brilliant player. Trust me, he will be brilliant for us. Like Antonio came out and said that was a club signing, not his. Well, he didn't need to say that, because you are our club.
Yeah.
But he is a brilliant player. Honestly, he will be up and down that line, and he will cross it better than the other 2 we got, and he will score goals as well. So the left side, I think Ben Davies just signed a contract, didn't he? So maybe if he plays Lenglet at the left centre half, then maybe play Ben out wide. It's Ben Davies, I thought, had a brilliant season last year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
What do you think Spurs need from now until the end of the window, though, Graham, to really compete with the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City? Because some Spurs fans are already saying that we could possibly go for the title. Do you believe that?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But I think we need another striker. I think we need another midfield player, so that we don't get everybody so tired all the time.
Yeah.
Like we play one game, and next game you could have 2 new players, but they know the system. So, it might be Bissouma, it might be Bentancur in one, and Højbjerg in another, and then, like we got Skip, but Skip's always injured. He's got his years to come. He'll learn from the players that we've got now. But I think, if we could get a decent midfield player, like me personally, I would go for James Maddison or somebody like that. Tillemans, somebody like that. Because they've been there, they've done it in the Premier League. But a striker, I think we need another striker, because you've got Harry. We can't play Harry. If you look at it, when they go away for the World Cup, they're going to be playing right up until probably the 20th of December if they get to the semi-final.
Yeah.
Then they got to come back. All the other teams that their players don't get through, they're all back having a rest and getting ready to, So you need some players to. So we got Richarlison. We got him. I like him. I think he could be good. I think Kulusevski's good. I think Son's good. And I think Harry's out this world. So we need another one to make the 6. And then you can juggle what you want to do. And if he gets that, I think, we'll be in the running.
Graham, I think the viewers of this channel and the listeners must be sick of me talking about trophies. And every single time I see you at the stadium, I talk about trophies, saying, when are the trophies coming? Do you think they're coming next season?
Well, we won one on Saturday, so that's good. That's always a good thing, winning the first one. Like we won the in 1982. We won the Charity Shield, and that gave us momentum. Look, quick. The bottom line of it is, we have a brilliant manager. I think he's got the mentality into the players now. I watched Saturday's game, and I saw Eric Dyer trying to pass the ball. And if he does that against the good teams, and it gets cut out, we're going to be conceding goals. He's got to learn not to give the ball away. I think he's had a brilliant season, but he's got to learn not to give the ball away. And we got a set piece coach now, but we still give bloody goals away from set pieces. Come on, it's not hard. Instead of looking at the player, look at the ball and attack the ball. You can head the ball then. I don't get where they're coming from, some of these, but it is. But no, I think we can. I think we can challenge on all fronts. What you got to realise is you've got the FA Cup, League Cup, and the league. Realistically, so there's 3 trophies, and there's loads of teams that can win them. You've got to be lucky with the draw. You've got to be lucky with home draws or whatever in the cups. The league is different. You have to make sure that he gets the team up for every game. Like last year, we lost to Southampton. We lost to Brighton. That can't happen. Man City don't lose to Southampton. Don't lose to Brighton. That don't happen. If you're going to win the league, you can't lose to those teams.
Graham, I know we're limited for time, but I just want to ask you about Tongi Ndombele and Giovanni Lo Celso, because, of course, Conte didn't take them on pre-season to South Korea. If there are no buyers for these 2 players, in particularly Ndombele, the record signing, do you see any way back for them or him in this Antonio Conte side?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think the league is too powerful for Ndombele. I think it's too quick. He's not quick enough for the game. You go to France, you play Paris Saint-Germain, Marseille, Monaco, Lyon, Lille. That's it. The rest of them are not. You can play 50%. In the Premier League, you can't play 50% in any game. You have to be 100%. And I just think he's not got that in his game. I don't care how fit he gets. If you look at his stature, he runs different. And I'm not having to dig at him. I'm just saying that he would be better in a foreign league. I just think the Premier League is too powerful for him. But it's a problem because we need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So, and Lo Celso, I think that the game was too quick for him as well. I think, they're happy when they go abroad and they play in the, Villarreal, slow, pick balls. There's certain players that suits them. The hustle and bustle of the Premier League, they can't handle. They just can't handle it.
Graham, I can't believe I've been talking to you for an hour and 40. Honestly, I could talk to you all night about Tottenham. Paddy actually asked earlier about your events with Mickey Hazard and Paul Miller. Are you still doing them for next season?
Well, we'll have a chat about it. Yeah, I would think so. We'll have a chat on the weekend because there's a game next week. So we'll probably do something. It's good for the fans because they get to meet some legends, and we'll try to change it about a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
you'll still be working at the stadium next season?
The club hasn't give us anything at the moment, so they keep you waiting, Chris. They keep you waiting.
Well, hopefully it's exciting times ahead, and hopefully we can put a trophy in the cabinet next season, so I can keep going on about the lack of trophies. Graham, tell everyone where they can find you on social media, and I would love to have you back on very soon.
Yeah, no problem, mate. You can get me on Graham Roberts 4 on Twitter and Facebook. I hardly ever go on that, but it's grahamroberts4.com. So yeah, I do a lot of work for my charity, Centre Algarve, special needs children. So yeah, I'm enjoying my life at the moment. I've had 2 heart operations over the summer, so I feel a lot better.
Good.
They said first one they said they couldn't find the heart. The second one they found it. So yeah, so no, I feel a lot better. Feel a lot healthier. So yeah, good.
Graham, actually, lastly, tell everyone about your signed memorabilia, because you often put a lot of signed memorabilia on Twitter for charity.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah, there's we've got some at the moment. We got Harry's shirt. Not it's match. You don't get no match shirts. So yeah, it's a signed Harry Kane shirt. There's Conte, Bentancur. They can come on there and bid. Look, we never ask anybody to overbid. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. That's what it is. Yeah. But no, if go on to Graham Roberts 4 at I think it's Graham Roberts 4 at hotmail.com, is it? I don't know. Graham Roberts 4 on at Graham Roberts 4 and on Twitter. So yeah. So
well, Graham, thanks so much for coming on. You've been an absolutely brilliant guest, and your fascinating stories, certainly about David Pleat and and Ron Atkinson. I enjoyed those ones, and your time in India as well. Really enjoyed that. But I would love to have you back on during the season.
Not India, Pakistan.
Oh, Pakistan. Sorry. Yes, of course. Yes.
All those Pakistani now watching this, the fans will slaughter you.
Yes, it's you talking about the being at Heathrow Airport and all those different places. That's what's confused me. So sorry about that. Graham, thanks so much, and thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks for listening. And I will see you very soon on another show. Until then, come on, you Spurs.